Well, USDA's latest crop report shows 4% of corn harvested nationally, just 1 point ahead of that 5-year average. As farmers prepare for big yields, we are turning our attention to Illinois for an update on conditions. Elizabeth Strom with the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers joins us now from her region. Elizabeth, thank you. Let's talk about how you would maybe describe the finish to the crop in your area.
Yeah, so it's been a really interesting late summer and early fall for us. Beginning August through now, we really haven't seen a lot of moisture, and we've had some weeks of pretty intense heat. Specifically where I sit here in Champaign County, the U.S. Drought Monitor is showing that we are in a moderate to severe drought, and based on what I'm seeing on the countryside, I would say that's pretty accurate. We don't have a lot of subsoil moisture out there, and that is having an effect on the finish to our crop. Beginning of September, we had some really cool fall weather, which we appreciated, but we're headed right back into the yo-yo of Illinois weather, and it's supposed to be in the mid-80s towards the end of this week and almost up to 90. Crop conditions, we have seen some disease pressure across the countryside. Specifically in corn, we've seen tar spot, southern rust, and some gray leaf spot, and a little bit of SDS in soybeans. Overall, the crop still looks good despite the fact that we have been very dry.
So it really depends where they are within that area of your state as whether how far along or if harvest has even started in some places. What are you hearing? Have they started in where you are? Or is this kind of a wait right now?
Yeah, so there has been a little bit of action here in the central part of the state. We haven't seen a lot of movement up in northern Illinois quite yet. I do think we're going to see widespread harvest in the next week or two, right where I'm at, especially with this heat moving in. The crop is going to dry down incredibly quickly. I would say that we're ahead of pace compared to normal, and we're expecting to see decent yields. I think we'll have a huge variation from the northern part of Illinois all the way to the southern part. A lot of this has to do with, where the rain came in at throughout the growing season and also the planting date. We had farmers that planted the earliest that they ever have, and we also had farmers more in southern Illinois that had planted the latest that they ever have in recent years.
Wow, it's amazing within that area, right? The difference depending on where you are, north, south, east, west. I'd like to talk about land market values. What are you expecting as we're heading into the fall?
Yeah, so as we're headed into the fall, I'm expecting the market to stay stable for the most part. I think a lot of it depends in that area how the yields are this year. Also, obviously, commodity prices play a huge part in this. I think there's going to be some pockets where there's been a lot of land sell over the past couple of years where there's not as much cash there as there once was. And I think some of those farms could certainly slip and sell a little bit lower than what expectation is. But overall, I think we'll probably stay pretty stable. The Illinois Society of Professional Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers actually published their mid-year survey a couple weeks ago. And 61% of buyers in the first half of 2025 was made up of farmers. So we really need farmers to be interested and thinking about buying farmland this fall to really keep the market where it's at. And there's about 33% of people that were in the same boat as me and think that farmland's going to stay the same. 49% thought that the farmland market would decline less than 3%. So that's kind of what we're thinking for this fall.
All right, so you're thinking pretty much going to say stable where we are right now. Elizabeth, thank you so much for all of the information and for breaking that down for us. Great job as always. Elizabeth Strom with the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers.